Alrighty. Today is October 30th, 2023, and it's been almost a month since my last update. In my last update, I shared that basically I had decided to focus more on creative technology and that I was really looking forward to using the time ahead of me to build up my portfolio, do some little projects, and so on. So I'd like to give a little update on how that is going, what else is going on, and how I what I have in mind for the future. So first of all, so my last update was on October 2nd. It was right after I finished this big workshop and this big project with my friend Romain, and I actually experienced a kind of low, a kind of a funk, I guess you call it, um, which which was kind of like I was very, very focused when Romain was here. We had a very strict, intense rhythm of getting up every day, doing sports, then working, and just kind of this craziness of creativity and productivity. And when he left and the project was done, there was kind of a void. And and so I really didn't expect this, but um I was like a little bit depressed, I would say, for the week or two after he was gone, and I really wasn't able to do much. It took a while to kind of get a grip on myself and find a new rhythm. So that's a little too bad, unfortunate, but it happened. So I really didn't have much to. I don't have much to say about the beginning of or the first half of October. And then so my intention was to dive into some projects. And I took a little time to try to identify like what are the projects I have in mind, and also how do I want to portray myself, so that I could put a little bit of thought into it, so that I could invest my time in projects that actually showed me the way I wanted to be seen, right? So just as an example, now I want to be seen more as a creative technologist, as an artist, as a maker. So obviously I would want to pick projects that are more physical, more artistic, rather than maybe do like an app project that I've had in mind for a while, which would just continue showing me as a software developer. So anyway, I took a little time to do that, and as I was thinking about this, I was also thinking like I really have very little idea of what let's say one day in the life of a creative technologist looks like professionally. And so I'm thinking, okay, like I want to do these projects, I want to build up my portfolio. Hopefully this is stuff that's going to be used in the future to get myself some work somehow, but I really have no idea what work looks like for a real creative technologist. And so I actually like took a step back and thought like, okay, maybe it would also make sense to reach out to people who are actually in the field and meet and kind of hear their stories, like how did they get into the field, what is it like for them to work, what kind of clients do they work with, how hard is it, like what kind of money do they make, and so basically I kind of started getting the feeling that I wanted a little bit of information, a little bit more information, and a little bit more validation that what I had in mind was somehow a good idea. You know, that going the path of exploring more creative technology was a good idea, or at least not a hopeless cause. Mm. And yeah, so I started doing some research, reached out to a bunch of people, met one person so far, and have a few other meetings lined up. And yeah, so basically I kind of got maybe sidetracked. I don't know if that's the right word, but I focused my attention more towards that rather than starting a project. So so again, like yeah, second half of October, I also don't really have much to show. But I feel like I was sort of productive, and most importantly, that I'm really starting to wrap my head around how I'm gonna go about becoming a creative technologist. If that, yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah, basically, like I feel it like it's a pretty complicated mental process for the pieces to slowly fall into place in my mind, and um kind of see how I'm gonna get to where I want to get, or even know what is it that I want. Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of happening slowly. I'm not really pressuring myself. um yeah, so that's that. And at the same time, I've been working on my portfolio, my personal website, which is one of the things that I said I wanted to do in my last video. So I did do a little bit of progress on that, not that much, but a little bit of progress. And for me, yeah, a little bit of slow incremental progress is basically what I want. Yeah, basically forming a habit of just documenting my projects and that. And this is actually one thing that I really wanted to do, and to kind of prove to myself that I can fucking do it, you know, like after being such a lousy documenter for the last few years, like I can, if I put some effort into it, I can actually like have a few pages on my website that each show a project with a few pictures, a few videos, and yeah, and it looks good. So yeah, I've been working on that. Also, I've been working on the freelance projects. So maybe I sound like a broken record now, but yeah, I really want to wrap this up, and it's really reaching the end. I had a meeting with the client last week. Yeah, the design is really starting to look like something, and the functionality is all there. So I expect that that this will be like fully wrapped up in the next 2 weeks. Yeah, so looking forward to that. And yeah, and then the last thing I want to share now is kind of the most exciting, which is I heard about this thing called Mars College. Essentially, it's a artist retreat, an artist get together in California, kind of in the desert, where basically a bunch of artists get together, about 40 to 50 people, build up a camp and stay there for 3 months to create and collaborate together. And yeah, so I heard about this through Gene Kogan, who's AI artist, let's say. And he was one of the organizers of the workshop I took with Romain, the AI image art that we did together. So he's also one of the organizers of Mars College, and yeah, I heard about it through him. And since I'm already planning to go to the US, it was like, oh well, maybe I'll just extend my stay and yeah, spend January, February, and March in the US, in the desert with a bunch of other artists to create. So mm, um, yeah, this is something I heard about earlier in the week. I mean, I had heard about Mars College before, because this is the fourth edition that's gonna happen, but um, it's only this week that I realized applications were open, and that I kind of like, the idea entered my mind that this might actually be a possibility for me. And so I'm still a little bit unsure. Like, it's a big time commitment. It's also going to the US, like logistically, like going in the middle of the desert for 3 months. You know, it seems like quite a commitment. And it's definitely not something that I had planned. So I'm still kind of in the process of kind of settling on the idea. But it's definitely really, really exciting. It looks really cool, and I feel like it could be a really good opportunity to yeah, once again put myself in a setting where I'm fully dedicated, where I'm surrounded with other creatives, people who are doing the same thing as me. Maybe a great opportunity to build a little network of people who are doing this, and to collaborate with, or maybe get some leads for clients, or how to get work after that. And yeah, and also, you know, personally, like, it could be also a great way to explore more the west coast of the US, or like the west, which I've never really spent much time in. So yeah, so this came up really recently, and I'm considering it very seriously. I'm excited, but also it kind of challenges my plans, because now I have just a little bit, just about a month and a half left in Berlin before going to the US. And you know, it's very different if I say myself, okay, I'm going to the US just for the holidays for a month and then coming back, versus I'm going to the US for almost 4 months, maybe more, and who knows what's next. You know, it's a very different mindset. And so kind of like what I do now in Berlin for the next 5 to 6 weeks, you know, is different, you know. So yeah, I feel like, you know, if I were 100% sure that I would come back, I would, you know, maybe put more effort into like really investing in my local network, meeting people and stuff. If I'm leaving, going for sure to the US, then, you know, maybe it's just about like, I don't know, doing personal stuff, personal projects, focusing on that. Anyways, so yeah, that's what has been up in the last 4 weeks. My general feeling is I'm a little bit disappointed by my lack of productivity and lack of focus, especially, you know, knowing how productive I was with Romain, like that we were able to build this machine, this installation in just 5 days. And now I could have done that like 3-4 times, and I didn't do anything. So it's a little bit disappointing, but at the same time, I am kind of slowly wrapping my head around what I want to do. So so I would say it's not fully lost. Yeah, so that's it for today. Really looking forward to seeing how things go, and I'll update you soon. See ya.